Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome. The Doctor is in, and we are back with more Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All. And thank you, Edfan, for redeeming first. Glad to see you here, as always. Right, let us do a quick check of the sound alerts. Alright. Oh, thank you. It'll take a moment to play since I just played the Metal Gear 1.
Hello there.
There we go. Right, appreciate that. So as long as you heard both of those sound effects, we are good to go. Alright, it was a rare instance where I had to stop streaming in the middle of an investigation, so I'm going to start back up in the middle of said investigation. Alright. Got my hydration going, so... Can you tell me about your activities last night?
After I got the award, I took a break and went back to my room. I had that post-ceremony stage show to do. So I was in my nickel samurai costume.
And you were alone the entire time?
My manager was running around being busy, so yeah.
Oh, hold up. I need to adjust my seat again. Okay, we should be good now. Because of the press conference you were supposed to hold after the show?
I told you, dude, I have no idea about any press conference, alright?
That's strange. I thought the Nickel Samurai was gonna confess something.
Anyway, when I was leaving my room, that's when I noticed it was kind of noisy.
Mr. Corrida was already dead at that time?
Yeah, that's what I gathered anyway from my manager.
I'm beginning to gather that this guy can't do a thing on his own.
And that's when the detective in the green coat showed up. He searched me, and then, out of the blue, the dude arrested me.
About you and the victim, Mr. Juan Corrida, what sort of...
That's got nothing to do with anything, dude. Man, with that face of his, you can't even tell he's the same age as me. He wanted to try and make a Jammin' Ninja movie, even though we all know it'd fail. Nickel Samurai still won in the end, right? Yeah, it took the Grand Prix by storm. So why would I, the winner, have any reason to kill the guy anyway? Dude, you'd think it'd be the other way around, you know?
He makes a good point. Alright, time to spam the court record at him.
Dude, I know I like to throw money around, but it's not like I buy anything and everything.
That's nice, because it's not up for sale anyway. Alright.
Dude, like I told you, I don't know anything about that press conference. I leave that kind of stuff to my manager.
This is harder than pulling bass from a river.
So why are you going around carrying that transceiver?
Your theory is that the manager person was angry at the dead person because the other dead person took her revenge on the dead person. That could be. I wanted to ask you about it.
And why do you do everything it tells you to do? You know, the messages it sends you, dude. You know, the messages it send you, dude.
On second thought, he probably doesn't have anything to do with Maya's kidnapping. That's a secret.
Okay, whatever, dude.
Alright, let's see. That's not... Nope. Nope. Alright. Nothing. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. If you are watching on Twitch, if you'd like to join the Discord, there is a link in the chat. Also, if you're on Twitch, go ahead and give a follow as well. Turn on the little notification bell. Let's see. Present the magazine clipping. What do you think about this article?
Huh. You're talking about her thing with Juan. I always thought she was a bit careless in the way she handled it.
And that's it?
That's it.
Okay, that's all we've got then. Okay, let's go to the Criminal Affairs Department, I guess. Nope. Hotel law offices? Nope, nothing new there. Viola Hall. Nothing new there. Hallway. Corridor's hotel room. On guard's hotel room. Here we go. Looks like Miss Andrews isn't here.
That's not good. I still have a few questions I want to ask her.
And she has that psych lock on her heart, right? I mean, psyche lock, sorry.
Well, we don't have much of a choice. I guess we'll have to come back later.
Well, why is she... Did I... Okay. No. No. Okay, did I present everything in the court record here? Maybe... Nope. Alright, let's try this. Do you know anything? I told you how many times now. I'm a journalist. I got so much info running laps in my head, I forget things here and there. Please don't get so worked up over this. Ha! I don't care if you beg me. Be extra tough on kids. That's this gal's motto on learning youngsters. Hey, what's that? A press conference ticket? How come I ain't got myself one of them? Please don't direct your anger at me. Why in tarnations wasn't I invited to that? How come someone on the bottom of the popularity chart like you got the info, but not me? Info like that's worth nothing to you, am I right or what? Is that the kind of person she thinks I am? Are you going to stand there and take that, Mr. Nick? Apparently. Okay, she doesn't know anything about that. Oh, poop, I forgot we can present profiles. And I just bought that camera. Who did it? The thieving rascal? Please don't look straight at me while you're saying that. When I find the bugger who went and done this, they're gonna pay with a bullet. And if you do that, don't expect me to defend you. Alright, nothing here. here. Zilch. Nada. Niet. Alright, let's try... Oh. Nope, nothing about her. Nothing about her. Oh, wait. Okay, let me skip past this and I'll redo that. All right. I don't really care for heroes or whatnot. Oh, I see. And shows they got for kids, those adventures are just plain old boring. Now, adults, we get more caught up in messy, sticky, real situations. Even me. Oh. Sounds like Tyke's hitting what I'm going with this. Wait a sec here. Don't go around getting her mixed up in things like that. Okay, we already said this. Moving on. Alright, yeah, I think those are the only ones relevant to the case that we can move on to Viola Hall. Maybe if I present... Let's try Celeste.
I'm honored you're asking me, but I have no idea who this person is. Sorry.
Ah, it's okay. You don't have to apologize so much.
So sorry. Hey, that's Miss Andrews. She's Matt's manager. Actually, I was interested in her for a little bit. Just a little.
Ah, so Mr. Powers likes this type of woman. What do you know about Miss Andrews?
Well, see, here's the thing. I don't really know her, you know? There's sort of a small rumor going around about her right now.
A rumor?
Ah, if you're interested, I'd be glad to share what I know.
He's so happy, it looks like a lion that just found his next meal. Okay, we already got that info. How about you?
Matt's younger than me, but you can practically see his star potential.
His star potential.
I got his autograph the other day. Feels
kind of wrong now, doesn't it?
I don't care what people say. Matt didn't kill Juan. I know he didn't. He debuted around the same time as Matt and everything, you know.
Really?
Started out small. First it was singing contests, then swimming competitions. Then it was bowling tournaments. And then it was who could throw the best, New Year's parties. Juan was always trying to one-up Matt. But lately, those two were escalating into more and more dangerous things. I thought that no good would come of it all, so I began to worry.
Too bad Juan's story ended so soon. Okay. Yep, got everything from him. Let's try Wendy. Maybe... Oh, maybe that's why. I don't have anything to say to delinquents like you. She's clamming up like the old clam she is. Please, anything would be helpful. Well then, how about I tell you my measurements? No, that's okay, really. She really doesn't like you, does she, Mr. Nick? I know. Nothing to say. Nothing to say on him either. What about Andrews? Nothing here either. Okay. Nothing there. Oh, maybe if I present the camera. Nothing about the camera. Alright, moving on. Alright. Let's move back to talk to Powers. Maybe... Nope, he doesn't know anything about it. Nothing about that either. Okay. Moving to... Maybe there'll be something back here. Okay. Since there were no psyche locks, then that means we can trust Mr. On Guard to be innocent. I really feel much better knowing that. Ever since last night, I was so worried that I kept wondering, what if he is the real killer? What then? Hey, I have something I want to ask you, Pearls. Okay, what is it? Why are you so interested in how Maya and I get along? I mean, she and I don't have anything special going. Huh?
I thought you and Mystic Maya were... I've been mistaken all this time? And no way!
Ah, she really wasn't kidding. Pearls actually believes Maya and I are... Maybe I should have just left it alone.
Mr. Nick, stop it. Don't hide your true feelings from me.
Ow, she slapped me. Okay, that's, not helping. Except Nick just ate Maya. Okay, let's see. Criminal Affairs Department. Maybe if I... This woman is another key to solving this case. Do you really think so? She was Adrian Andrews' mentor a long time ago. But she was suddenly called away by a different show and became Juan Corrida's manager. And then, a few months later, Celeste Impax died. But her death was ruled as suicide, right? Yes. But there's still one riddle we've yet to solve. A riddle? Her suicide note. It went missing. No one could find it. A suicide note that just vanished, huh? Adrian Andrews. She holds a large secret within herself. A secret? You can't help but feel this whole case revolves around her. While I was abroad, these deplorable types of actors became popular, I take it. Well, refreshing like a spring breeze is his motto. Refreshing? And what is so refreshing about a spring breeze? Sounds like the pollen is not treating him well this year. There is an interesting rumor about this man. You mean the one about Miss Andrews getting close to him? But that's pretty common tabloid fare, isn't it? I don't take things at face value when there's more to be found. We are looking into leads, but we can only look into a few key players with our limited resources. There's no reason for us to waste our energy investigating this person. Why don't you just tell me straight and say I don't have any info? Okay. And blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. You don't have any info on yourself, huh? Alright. Anything else to talk? Ah, there we go. Miss Impax's death was most certainly a suicide. Of that there is no mistake. However, we could not find her suicide note. That's when the police began to suspect that someone had hidden it. A suicide note? But how do you know Miss Impax had even written such a note? There was no solid evidence. However, we did find traces of ink on her right index finger, which makes the likelihood of a suicide note very high. But who would hide such a thing? The police think it was Mr. Juan Corrida himself. The victim? He was the one who found her body, which makes him the only person who had a chance to hide her suicide note. Mr. Corrida hid his own manager's suicide note. But why? As long as her note is missing, any speculation beyond this is meaningless. For now, I think you should look this over. This is the suicide report. Part 1, anyway. Part 1? Alright, let's take a look then. Nanny, why can't I? There's nothing I can do to check it. Alright, let's present the suicide report to him then. I don't like to look through reports. I like suicide reports even less. Worst of all are the reports that have multiple parts like that one. That has 2. 2 parts? What you just handed me is the first part of the report. Here's the second part. The second part of the report is about an attempted suicide. The attempter's name.
It's Adrian Andrews.
Miss Andrews? What did she do?
She tried to kill herself? She doesn't seem like the kind of person to try and kill herself, though. You think she's a strong career woman? That's just what she wants you to think. Adrian Andrews. She has a certain secret she's always trying to hide.
A secret?
Her dependent nature. That's what she's really like on the inside. Miss Andrews, dependent? Talk about the exact opposite of what that woman is. What's this about Miss Andrews having a dependent nature? Adrian Andrews' attempted suicide was a few days after the death of Celeste Impacts. And why did Adrian Andrews think about committing suicide? Because she had apparently lost her will to live. Lost her will? But why would she... Her pillar of strength, her mentor Celeste Impacts, was gone forever. That's why.
Why would that... Is this what they call following someone to the grave?
After her attempted suicide, Adrian Andrews started attending counseling sessions. She's someone who needs a person in whom she can trust absolutely. And once she finds that person, she'll do anything she can to keep them near. Without such an anchor in her life, her crippling anxiety stifles her ability to live. And that's the nature of her dependency on others? When Celeste Impact suddenly committed suicide, the world before her turned pitch dark. That's according to Adrian Andrews herself. Then that means her super confident attitude. It's all a facade. She's only copying her mentor's behavior to hold herself together. How terrible. Okay. I think now we might be able to get something more out of Adrian. Oh, that's the lobby. Gosh darn it. Move. Alright. Hall. That's one thing I like about the modern Ace Attorney games, is that they give you a little list of places that you can visit all on one screen, so you're not having to jump from place to place like that. Alright. Here we go.
Oh, Miss Andrews is here. But it looks like she's talking with someone.
That's Franziska von Karma.
Miss Von Karma?
What are you doing here? Well, you see, I'm his lawyer, so... You've got some nerve following me around. Following you?
That's you, Miss Von Karma. You're the one doing the following.
Girls.
Always following after that Mr. Detective with the little beard.
Me? Following after Scruffy? Don't make me laugh. Let me show you something interesting, little girl.
What is that?
An electromagnetic receiver. I planted a tracking device on that detective. And with this, I know that fool's every move. So that noise we heard was this receiver. I feel really sorry for poor Detective Gumshoe now. Now then, let's stop wasting time. Adrian Andrews! Yes? Think hard about what we just discussed. Understood? All right. What were those two talking about?
Miss Andrews, she seems a little dazed, doesn't she?
Alright. Do you have any ideas as to why Mr. Corrida was murdered? Why would you ask me about such a thing? I'm just doing my job, so do you have any ideas? Miss Andrews? Sorry, but there's nothing more I have to add to this conversation.
Is it a psyche lock, Mr. Nick?
Yeah. There's getting to be more and more of these lately. Alright. Boom, baby. Why was Juan Corrida murdered? If you ask me, I think you know the reason he was killed. Why are you hiding things? Don't you realize you're putting Mr. Engarde's life in danger by your actions?
Why do you ask questions for which I have no answers? The truth is, I was not that close to Mr. Corrida.
You were not that close.
That's right. I've never been good at being intimate with another person. You're not good about being intimate with another person. Somehow I highly doubt that.
Take that!
I'm very bad at connecting with people. They're so depressing for the most part. But I especially dislike feeble-minded individuals.
Yes, well,
That's why I don't think I could ever be intimate with you.
how rude. So I'm guessing she's saying I'm both depressing and stupid? But I'm certain you were very close with the victim.
Say that all you like, but you still don't have any proof.
I doubt that. Let me double check this here. Yeah, reliable. Okay.
Take that!
You and Mr. Corrida had an intimate relationship, did you not?
A silly third-rate tabloid article. If you even had half your wits about you, you wouldn't believe such rubbish.
Well, it seems quite a few people have already bought into this story.
As to be expected in a world filled with crooks and liars. Note to self, stay on our good side. In any case, I despise interpersonal relationships like that.
I see. However, what if there was a need for you to get close to someone?
Me? Need to get close to Mr. Corrida? As if there was ever such a need.
Didn't you get close to Mr. Corrida for this person's sake?
Take that!
Celeste Impacts, your mentor.
How do you know about Celeste?
Miss Impacts, she committed suicide, didn't she? But it looks like no one knows why. Right before her death, she was Juan Corrida's manager. So I believe you got close to Mr. Corrida so you could find out more about her suicide.
You have a great imagination. You may have a future yet as a slimy muckracker for a putrid third-rate tabloid.
Miss Andrews?
There was no mystery surrounding her death. None. It would be pointless for me to force myself into a relationship for nothing.
Is that really true? Was there really no mystery at all? I don't believe you were completely at ease with the way her suicide was resolved. Let's see. It's either this one or this one.
Take that!
There we go. Miss Impact's suicide note was never found, was it? It looks like the police were under the suspicion that someone had hidden it. Like maybe the person who discovered her body, Mr. Corrida.
Juan?
And Miss Andrews, I believe you thought the same thing. That's why you became intimate with Mr. Corrida.
I've sat by quietly and listened to your insulting ramblings long enough. It's true that Celeste was my mentor, however, allow me to say this again. It had nothing to do with me. I didn't even know that her suicide note was never found. I'm a person who doesn't care about what goes on in the lives of others.
That's the impression you like to give. However, I don't think that's who you really are.
What?
I have evidence that says otherwise. This is proof that Celeste Impacts was someone very special to you.
Take that!
Miss Andrews, you nearly went through with it too, didn't you?
Went through with what?
Ending your life. Miss Andrews, you look and act like a very strong woman who has it all together. You don't ask for anyone's help, relying only on yourself.
Yes, I've been very independent ever since I can remember.
However, that's all just a lie, a facade. You've always searched out for people who you can depend on.
That's...
You were dependent on Miss Impacts, weren't you? Which is why, when she passed away, you lost everything you had.
Stop! When Celeste passed away so suddenly like that, I died a death of my own, but no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't stop thinking about what had become of her note.
You must have heard about the police report. The one that said the police had suspected Mr. Cord of hiding Miss Impact's note. You heard about it and thought to recover it from him by getting close, am I right? If that's the case, then everything changes.
But what do you mean?
What topic did we start this conversation on again?
It was why was the victim killed?
Exactly. Somehow, Miss Andrews, it seems that you have become the one with the reason to want Mr. Corda dead.
Me?
Miss Impax was everything to you. And then she died. And you would do anything to find out why she killed herself. Even commit murder.
Murder?
It's still early, but it's a good theory anyway.
It's true. I am a woman who can only live in insecurity. I'm physically small, and I don't really have a lot of self-confidence. I've pushed against all that, though. I've tried to live strongly. I never wanted anyone to find out the truth. Miss Andrews. This one thing, it's the one thing I wanted to take with me to the grave. It was my secret, mine and mine alone.
I'm sorry.
You probably think I'm a worthless human being right now, don't you?
Please, Miss Andrews, all I want to know is the truth.
After Celeste passed away, I'd heard that someone had hidden her suicide note, and that someone was Juan Corrida. Celeste, without her, I became scared. Everyone seemed like they were out to get me.
So you got close to Mr. Corrida to recover her suicide note, correct?
Looks like that tabloid reported the truth after all. Ironic, isn't it?
Well, like they say, where there's smoke, there's fire.
And if they purposefully add fuel to the fire, they keep the celebrity world burning. But as for the suicide note, I didn't and wouldn't kill anyone for it. Just doesn't suit me, that's all. Well, that's enough for now. I still have work to do, so...
I understand.
Oh, I have one small favor to ask. My attempted suicide. I'd like for you to keep it a secret. Miss Andrews, if people found out about my weakness, I would sooner choose to die than live.
All right, I understand. We'll keep it a secret. Miss Andrews, I guess she's the overthinking type. She probably never says anything without carefully thinking it through first.
Thank you for your discretion.
Mr. Nick, can I ask you something?
What is it?
Miss Andrews has been playing with that card in her hand since a little while back.
That card? Yeah, I guess she has.
Miss Andrews, what is that card you're holding? Huh? Oh, this? I don't quite know. It just suddenly appeared in my handbag.
What is it? It looks like a seashell?
That's what it looks like, doesn't it? I honestly don't remember owning this card. I wonder where I picked it up from.
Her not remembering something clearly? Sounds like it'd be a rare occurrence.
Well, I must be off. I leave Mr. On Guard in your capable hands.
Alright. Well, I think we've gathered about all we can.
But what about Mystic Maya? Is she alright?
Oh, Pearls. She looks so worn out by all this. She hasn't slept at all and has been walking all over the place with me today.
What's wrong, Mr. Nick?
Let's go back to the office for a little while. You're really tired, right?
Oh, no. I'm okay, really. I'm fine. I really am.
You don't look fine to me. Alright, let's head back to the hall. Lobby.
So, what now?
Well, we did find one thing out for sure. Miss Andrews has a motive.
You mean Miss Impact's suicide note?
That's right. She was also the one to discover the victim's body. Clever.
Ah! Mr. Nick, the transceiver!
Hello, Wright and Co. Law offices.
Mr. Attorney, you're not answering a phone.
But Maya, where's Maya?
As I promised, I have not gone within a few feet of her this whole time.
Phew.
Which is why I suppose she's absolutely famished.
What?
So I suggest you win a quick acquittal, my friend. At any cost, wouldn't you agree?
Wait, Maya, let me hear her.
Very well.
Ask my...
Maya, is that you?
Sis, ask my sis!
Maya! Maya! Damn it, he cut me off!
Mystic Maya said ask my sis, didn't she?
Sis? What does she mean by that? Come on, Phoenix. You're a hopeless one. Sorry. Ah! Mia! I have a message from Maya, so come, ask me anything you want about her. How's Maya? She's safe, for now. That kidnapper is one to keep his word, it seems. I'm glad to hear she's safe, but Mia, how did you know? As soon as she was locked up, Maya called for me. I read the note she left, and then I gathered as much information about her surroundings as I could. I didn't know you could use spirit channeling like that. Pretty smart of her. The kidnapper, what's he like? I don't know. Apparently, Maya went to answer a phone call at the hotel and was drugged there. And she didn't see the face of her attacker. Ah. Maya's locked up in a very dark place right now. I'll tell you everything I heard when I was with her. When you were with her. I'm starving. I could really go for some apple pie. I mean, at a time like this, sweets are the only way to go. I have to stay positive. He promised he wasn't going to kill me. I'm not going to die. Sis, I wonder if you're with Nick right now. Huh? Someone dropped a card here. It kind of looks like a business card, but there's no name on it. It's a picture of a seashell, I think. A strange card. There's all sorts of things piled up here. It's too dark to see. What's this? It feels like there are a lot of glass bottles here. And these, they feel like barrels. I'll pass. Too bad I'm really hungry and not really thirsty. Drat, it's locked. This door's lock seems easy enough to open. On TV, the hero always uses a plastic card or a stiff piece of cardboard. Then click, they magically open the door. I wonder if there's a card like that around here I could use. Ah, that's it! The shell card. If I use this, maybe I can get the door open. This might be my key out of here. I had a feeling this card might be useful. I'm such a genius. Alright, now if you'll excuse me, Mr. Kidnapper. I did it! Okay, now I'm getting the heck out of here. I shouldn't keep Nick waiting or worried. Alright, we're gonna take a quick break now that the investigation's done. I'm gonna get up and move about for a few minutes, and we'll be right back.
And we are back. Let us continue with this.
Adrian did it?
That's what it looks like.
Dude, no way. That woman couldn't do anything like that.
In court today, there will be a mountain of evidence that'll implicate you.
A mountain of evidence?
I'm certain there's someone out there trying very hard to pin this whole thing on you.
Please, Mr. Lawyer. Dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, alright? I can't let any sort of scandal ruin that.
I understand. Well, who's speaking? Well, it's almost time. Mia? We must get a complete acquittal today.
I know, but I can't focus on Maya's situation now.
Or Pearl's either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day.
Indeed.
Well, let's get going.
It's him.
This is Wright.
Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney. The day of the trial.
Maya, she's unharmed, right?
Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seemed a bit, how shall we say, tired. Don't worry, people don't die that easily. Besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. For my sake as well as yours, you must win today's trial. Which is why I sent you a little present this morning.
Present? What in the world would you want to give me?
You'll figure it out once the trial starts. And even if you don't like my gift, I expect you to graciously accept it and win the day's contest, if you please.
Wait! The kidnapper sent me a present?
Mr. Lawyer, dude? Who was that?
No one. It has nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything.
Dude, did your nose just get longer?
Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Matt Ungard. Are the prosecution and defense ready?
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Miss Von Karma?
I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me? Your Honor.
Please be quiet, bailiff. Court is in session. If you must tell me something, please keep it brief. Now then, what is it?
Prosecutor Von Karma has... This morning, Miss Von Karma was shot by an unknown gunman.
What?
Shot?! Somehow, I think this is the present that man was talking about.
His present?
Miss Von Karma is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. If she were to disappear, it would be to your advantage.
This is totally insane! Miss Von Karma, is she alright?
Hello there.
Hello there, Nacho Warrior. Thank you for joining. How are you?
I don't have that answer.
She's alive and in stable condition.
That's good. You're...
I thought he'd show up. Your Honor, due to the circumstances, Miss Francisca Von Karma cannot appear in court today. I, Miles Edgeworth, will be taking her place. I'm good. How are you today? I am doing well, thank you. How... I already asked you how you're doing. Duh. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's been a good day. Not necessarily a long day, but I'm beginning to think maybe it was longer than I thought if I'm asking you how your day was twice in a row. But yeah, we are finally starting the trial segment of this case, which is one of my favorites. The prosecution is ready, naturally. Miss Von Karma was shot in her right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. Well, how about that? Von Karma is both shot in their right shoulder. What are the odds?
Luckily, I have looked this case over and am familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matt on guard.
The court acknowledges the prosecution.
Right? I finally found the answer I was struggling for on my long journey this past year. By the time this case comes to an end, you too will know the answer. Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand. Witness, your name and occupation.
My name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down at the precinct, for now. For now? After this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir.
Detective Gumshoe?
The prosecution has no need for a depressed witness. Lift your head up and face forward like a proud officer, Detective Dick Gumshoe.
Yes, sir!
Now, let's have your testimony. If we want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that.
Get ready, Phoenix. This is going to be one very rough fight. Yeah, it would have to be with Edgeworth as my opponent. The answer he was struggling for. Interesting. Show me this answer you finally found, Edgeworth.
This murder happened after the Hero of Heroes Award ceremony, sir. The victim, Juan Corrado, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. After the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room. Yes, sir. Both the victim and defendant went alone to their rooms, sir.
About the contest for the voice acting. Yeah, unfortunately, I've just got a lot going on these next couple months because I'm going to be moving soon, and so I just really haven't had the... And also I've had different job interviews as well, so I've just not really had the opportunity to look into that. I do appreciate you giving it to me, though. It's not something I can really make work at this time.
This murder happened after the Hero of Heroes Awards ceremony, sir.
Would you please give us a brief timeline of what happened after the ceremony?
Okay, pal. Ceremony started at 6 p.m.
No, it's fine. I understand that I didn't really give you a definitive answer last time, but unfortunately, yeah, it's just not going to work out for now. But, other opportunities will arrive in the future, so I'm, my time will come. My time will come.
The ceremony started at 6 p.m. It ended around 8 p.m., then there was a short break. A special post-ceremony show was supposed to start in the lobby 30 minutes later.
And that's when the victim's body was found, correct?
Which is to say the murder occurred during that 30-minute break period.
Please continue with your testimony, Detective. The victim, Juan Corrado, was found dead in his hotel room.
The person who discovered the victim's body was Adrian Andrews, correct?
Yeah. Who is this Adrian Andrews you're talking about? She's the defendant, Matt on Guard's manager. She's a really pretty lady, sir. Ah, so she's a pretty lady. What if she'll grace us with her presence? When the post-ceremony show was about to start, she went to get Mr. On Guard. After visiting his room, she next went to the victim's room to get him for the show, sir. I see. And that's when she found the victim's body. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir.
The cause of death, wasn't that because Mr. Corrado was stabbed in the chest?
Only a careless amateur would believe something so brainless as that, pal. Take a good hard look at the crime photo.
Now, real pro's attention would be drawn here, to this bandana.
Banana. His bandana, sir. That's the thing wrapped tightly around his neck, sir. Ah, yes, I see. His banana-scented bandana.
Then what about the knife?
It seems to have been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death.
We have a crafty murderer on our hands here.
Strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife.
At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case.
Yeah, why did you think that?
Because it was empty, pal. The Jammin' Ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar. And we couldn't find it anywhere at the scene of the crime.
Oh, and how about this theory? A fan really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How's that?
We thought of that too, but,
But...
the only fingerprints on the guitar case were the victims.
only the victims, huh?
I see. So much for my theory, then.
However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder.
What convinced you it had nothing to do with the case?
The guitar wasn't at the Gatewater Hotel that night.
Well, then, where was it?
The bright red guitar was eventually found at the TV studio. The victim, Juan Corda, had apparently only taken the case with him, sir.
So you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case?
Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar.
So that guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel.
Yeah, that's right. So it really had nothing to do with the case after all.
I believe that is enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana. Then, after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why then did the police arrest Matt on guard? Because there was a reason enough to suspect him. Here it comes. Looks like Edgeworth's back in full swing.
Very well. Detective Gumshoe, please testify about this matter.
Yes, sir. Man on Guard and Juan Corda were huge rivals with each other. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my book. As for evidence, there's the Jammin' Ninja's button. It was ripped off the ninja costume and was found in Mr. On Guard's Hakama. The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. The defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder.
So the defendant's fingerprints were found on the knife used in the stabbing.
It was sort of sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came out pretty clearly, sir.
Nunny. Gatewater is engraved, and he bought the knife specifically for the murder, but it's the hotel's knife, so unless there's a typo here and they meant to say brought the knife, I think we have our contradiction.
And there's this button.
That was found on the defendant's clothes, was it? And is this button also covered in blood?
Yeah, and we know the blood on it is the victim's blood, sir.
What?
All this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it?
Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet, Wright? I'll find the hole in your argument somehow. You can press as hard as you'd like, just hurry up with your usual pointless questions. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna go over to the defendant bought the knife for the crime. Let's press on this just to make sure we got this right. Who's winning so far? I mean, the trial just started, so no one. There's no way this was a premeditated murder, even if he bought the knife.
Sorry, pal, this isn't some pocket knife. It doesn't fold, so it's not great for walking around with either.
Well, this is not good. If the prosecution can prove it was a premeditated murder, we're done for. Phoenix, Yes, there's something very interesting about what the detective said just now. Think carefully before it's too late. A button covered in the victim's blood, and a knife with on guard's fingerprints. Be grateful. If the judge were more rash, he would have already pounded his gavel in closing. We're still in a world of trouble. Well, before any battle, you must find your enemy's weakness. So let's find the weakness in this testimony, no matter how small it may be, okay, Phoenix? Alright, so we're gonna head over to...
The defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder.
Yeah, about that. Wait a second.
What?
So the basis of your argument was that this was the basis of your argument that this was a premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand.
That's right, pal. The defendant
Did not buy this knife.
Huh?
Take a good look at the handle of this knife and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Huh? It has a Gatewater seal set into the handle. Gatewater? I think I've heard that name somewhere before.
That's the name of the hotel! The Gatewater Hotel!
Uh-oh.
The murder knife was actually the property of the hotel, which means this murder was not premeditated!
Yes, that's very true. This is a very big... What is it, Mr. Edgeworth?
I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless. What? I think whether the crime was premeditated or not has already been determined. How so? I admit this knife is hotel property. There is no one currently on the police force that is dumb enough not to realize this.
But I didn't know... Oh.
The question is, where did this knife come from?
Why, that's obvious. It came from the victim, Mr. Corrida's room.
Sorry, Your Honor, but that is incorrect. The victim ate a last meal before he was murdered. With that being the case, I would like to draw the court's attention to what is on top of the table.
There's a knife and a fork on the table. Then, where in the world did this knife come from?
If it pleases the court, I would like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Mr. Matt on guard. Especially what was on top of his table. There is something missing. Perhaps it is a single knife? We investigated the leftover dishes for fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Mr. Matt on guard's knife was missing. Mr. On guard had gone to the victim's room with a knife he had used during dinner. Why would he carry a knife on a visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution has proven this was a premeditated murder.
Amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. Absolutely brilliant. A brilliantly clear deduction.
It seems like Edgeworth had this plan from the very beginning. This must be one of those traps, and I just walked headlong into it.
A murder weapon with fingerprints and a button from the victim's costume. There's quite a sizable amount of evidence here.
I can safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of Your Honor's time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defense were to present evidence not yet shown to the court. Evidence not yet shown? He means evidence that the court hasn't seen yet. In other words, new evidence.
What does the defense have to say about this, Mr. Wright?
Well, Phoenix, the judge is favoring the prosecution right now. If we answer with something wrong here, that gavel of his will be ringing out to the sound of our defeat.
Mr. Wright, do you have something important and necessary to present to this court?
Let's save here real quick. Do I have anything? Let's see. Press conference tickets, Lotta's camera, magazine clipping, hotel guide map, guitar, wine glass, crime photo. I don't know how that connects. I got nothing. No, not right now. This has to be another trap. Better if I don't say anything that risks throwing out a bad piece of evidence.
It looks like the defense isn't saying a peep on this one.
Which means this court is adjourned. Phoenix, we will lose this case if you give up here. So you had better show the judge something quick. Slow down, we all know I have a tendency to be wrong more than... I can't even say it. Well, the court should have the autopsy report.
Hold it!
There's one piece of evidence that catches my attention. Something this court has yet to see.
Mr. Wright, I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. However, I'm giving you one chance and only one.
What the judge is saying, Wright, is don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here. If I mess this up, it's curtains for all of us.
You may now present one and only one piece of evidence. Now then, what is this important evidence that you must show to the court?
Oh, crud. I guess the court should have this. They saw this. This doesn't really have anything to do with that. I can't show them the transceiver. I'm just double checking everything. Also, I guess I should probably, well, never mind. Okay, let's see. Maybe this is it.
Take that!
Sorry, Wright, but this time your bluffing steered you wrong.
I can see nothing strange about this piece of evidence.
But wait!
I am a man of my word, Mr. Wright. That's enough. This court sees no reason to further prolong the trial, nor is there any need for more time to decide the case against the defendant. This case is extremely clear. I see no room for misinterpretation of the facts. This court finds the defendant Matt on guard. Guilty. The accused will surrender to the court immediately, to be held pending trial at a higher court within a month from today's date. That is all. This court is adjourned.
Well, good thing I saved. Alright. Load the selected save data. Alright. There's one. One piece of evidence that catches my attention. Something this court has yet to see.
Mr. Wright, I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. However, I'm giving you one chance and only one.
What the judge is saying, Wright, is don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here. If I mess this up, it's curtains for all of us.
You may now present one and only one piece of evidence.
Saving again, so that way if I fail here...
Now then, what is this important evidence that you must show to the court?
Alright, let's try this out here.
Take that!
Sorry, Wright, but this time your bluffing steered you wrong.
I can see nothing strange about this piece of evidence.
But wait!
I'm a man of my word, Mr. Wright.
Alright. Yada yada. Okay, so it clearly wasn't the suicide report. What does the court not know? Wait, this was... Maybe that's it?
Take that!
Nope. Darn it. Okay. All right, let's try the wine glass.
This is a wine glass, is it not?
Please look at the photo of the crime scene one more time. The scene is a mess because of the victim's struggle against his assailant. The vase was broken, his makeup is all over the floor. These were all things that were at one point sitting on top of the dresser.
Well, yes, I see your point.
However, this glass that is sitting on top of the dresser is mysteriously untouched. The only thing that had not fallen over along with everything else is this wine glass. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant further consideration. Well, what do y'all have to say?
Oh, well, yes, it is a little peculiar.
Yes, isn't it? I thought it was.
You can stop looking at me with those puppy dog eyes of yours now. Mr. Edgeworth,
What is it, Your Honor?
your opinion.
You don't need my opinion, because there is no special meaning to that glass. What? It's safe to say that the glass was set there after the crime took place, by the person who discovered the body. Adrian Andrews, for example. She could have easily been so shocked that she set the glass down without thinking.
That does sound very plausible. Mr. Wright?
Could Miss Andrews really have set that glass down without thinking? No way. If I appear weak here, the trial is over. I can look for my proof later. For now, I should trust my instinct and point with certainty. They just might fall for it if you're thought-provoking enough. The defense would like to challenge the prosecution's theory. We would like to see something that proves it was Miss Andrews who set the cup on the table.
You've turned the situation on its head yet again, as usual. Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any proof to back up your claim?
There's no way he has any. He's just bluffing. Unlike Mr. Wright, I never say anything unless I have the evidence to support it. What? You're not thinking hard enough today, Wright. Did you think this wine glass escaped my notice? Then, of course, it has been thoroughly inspected for fingerprints. Fingerprints? There was only one set of fingerprints left on this wine glass.
Only one? Well, whose were they?
They were not the victims nor the defendants. Rather, they were one of Adrian Andrews. What? That is why I said that the person who discovered the body had left it there. Are we done here, Mr. Wright? Can't believe I fell into another trap. Miss Andrews was probably holding the glass when she went to see Mr. Cord. But upon seeing his dead body, she was stunned and set the glass down on the dresser.
What you just said makes a lot of sense.
Now do you see, Wright? You can't change any part of my scenarios. It explains everything all too well. I've thought long and hard this past year about what it means to be a prosecutor. And from here on out, I will show you the answer I've come to discover.
Wait a second, Mr. Edgeworth. I think the prosecution has provided enough evidence for me to enter my verdict.
Unfortunately, I cannot allow you to pass judgment yet. The prosecution has yet another witness we would like the court to hear from. Another witness? Yes. Bailiff, please bring in the next witness. What in the world is Mr. Edgeworth thinking? After seeing the witness, I second Mia's questioning. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. Witness, your name and occupation, please. Gotcha! I wonder what happened to that calm composure he had earlier.
Oh, Edgy boy, it's been, what, a year since we last met, hasn't it? You should be more happy to see me.
I saw the report with her testimony, but who knew that was under that... Who knew that under that helmet? It was the Wicked Witch of the witness stand.
I tell you, this time I know what I'm supposed to do. So today I'm gonna tell you anything and everything. Even things that don't have to do with that terrible crime.
Miss Witness, that terrible crime is all this court needs to know.
Oh, shush! I'm talking to my dear Edgy Wedgie right now. Don't interrupt us, Gramps!
Yes, madam.
No, please. By all means, interrupt her, please!
Anyway, witness, your testimony, please.
It's true what they say that youth are hot-headed nowadays. Not that I mind at all, Edgy. Now then, what should I start with?
The witness was on security detail at the hotel on the night of the murder. Is this correct, Miss Oldbag?
It was a great job being able to see my dearie Juan. It was almost too much for my little heart to handle.
You mean you were a fan of the victim?
Look, everyone's crazy over that on guard saying he's cute in a fresh way or something. But not me. I wouldn't say anything so silly. After all, I have no interest in a little child like him. I'm only interested in a real man, Juan Corrida.
But those two were the same age.
Anyway, as I was saying, I was pacing in front of his room that night.
Very well. Please tell the court what you witnessed the night of the murder.
Leave it to me, Edgy Poo. Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pace around in the hallway in front of his room. There was something I was interested in finding out, you know. Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. That's when someone showed up. It was a man coming out of poor Juan's room. It was on guard, Matt on guard. He was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room.
So Mr. On Guard came out from the victim's room.
See, it has to be him. He's the murderer.
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
I need to hydrate.
Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pace around in the hallway in front of his room. There was something I was interested in finding out, you know.
Something you were interested in? And just what was that?
It's not something little thing I can just go around telling everyone, you know. It's top secret between me and Juan. And Edgy Poo, of course.
Mr. Edgeworth, what is this thing she was interested in?
I have no idea. I despise gossip, Your Honor.
Gossip?
But should it prove relevant, we can always have it appended to her testimony later. It looks like we shouldn't force it right now.
And did the witness stay in the vicinity of the victim's door the entire time?
Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. That's when someone showed up. It was a man coming out of poor Juan's room.
Who in the world was that?
I'm not allowed to say. This sort of information has to be carefully guarded from the masses, Sonny. The man that came out of Juan's room, he was...
Yes, he was...
Ah, I'm too scared. I can't say his name out loud.
Oh, what I wouldn't give to have Francisco swept right about now.
Well, I guess I can tell you since he was such a bad boy anyway. It was on guard. Matt on guard. He was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room.
You saw my client. Are you sure about that?
Yes, he.
Really?
Annoying brat. When I say I saw someone, I saw that person.
Why do I get a sense of deja vu? Maybe to avoid a repeat of last year, I should delve into this a bit further. Please tell the court about the man's face in more detail.
You don't need me to tell you about his face. That soft, gentle look in his eyes and his effeminate lips. His right eye covered by his silky hair, his sparkling, shining teeth.
His teeth were shining?
Well, he's shining all around in this week's pinup poster, dearie.
This week's pinup? Why do you... I mean...
I don't care how he looks in this week's issue. Please stay with what you saw that night.
What? On guard's face is the same no matter where it is, you know, you whippersnapper.
So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now important or relevant in any way?
Not important. I guess it really wasn't that important after all.
Mr. Wright, do you know why we say time is valuable? If not, I suggest you learn.
You've wasted 3 minutes of this woman's youth. That's more valuable than gold to me.
Why do I suddenly feel old in the presence of her childish whining?
She may not remember things or be mistaken here and there, but I don't think she's lying. That's bad for us, really bad. But that's how the human mind is. It also has the tendency to jump off topic. She's strayed onto a few interesting side topics this time, too, hasn't she? But that's what makes her a sweet old lady, right? That's because you're not the one who has to question her. Alright, let's see. I think there's more to be found here. Alright, so we're going to skip to the question again to have her describe the person's... What was the person carrying? I'm actually kind of curious about that. What was the man you saw carrying?
In which hand? His right or his left?
Both, I don't care.
Now this is a real mess. I mean, I can't be expected to answer such a vague question.
Indeed, please be more specific with your question, Mr. Wright.
So sorry. What was the man saw you what was he carrying in his right hand?
I wasn't carrying anything in that hand.
Then how about his left?
Empty.
Well, this whole thing's been a lot of nothing.
So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now important or relevant in any way?
Not important. Alright, blah, blah, blah. Already got through all this. Let's move. There we go. Let's try the wearing thing. Okay, blah, 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 blah. What was the guy wearing? Please tell the court about the man's clothes in more detail.
What a troublesome man you are. Really, as if something like that matters.
But it does!
Now what was it? Oh yes, it was that thing.
What thing?
That gaudy thing he's always wearing, that racing jacket.
Nah, he was wearing that at the detention center, too.
That thing's meant for nothing but seducing women out of their pantaloons. Men.
Right.
So, Mr. Wright, was that testimony just now important or relevant in any way?
It was very important. Of course it was important, Your Honor. Then perhaps you would like to point out what part of that testimony was important. Don't you see it, Edgeworth? Your Honor, I request what the witness said about the jacket to be appended to her testimony.
I don't quite see where you're going with this, but alright. Witness, please.
Well, I don't like to badmouth anyone without reason, but if I must... He was wearing his flashy racing jacket. Honestly, it's all just for show.
Yeah, about that. Miss Oldbag?
What? Don't say my name for no reason.
Do you know what this is?
It's button number 2 on the Jammin' Ninja's costume.
Now I know she's an obsessed fan. She identified it in a single glance.
Give it here, give it here. If you don't give it to me, I'll punish you with this.
Wow, she really is a diehard fan to want a button covered in blood. This button was discovered on Mr. Onguard's body during a full body search.
See? This button proves beyond a shadow of a doubt is that rascal on guard.
It was caught up in the pleats of his nickel samurai hakama pants.
See? And on guard is the nickel samurai.
Witness! Now, it may just be me, and I do have an active imagination. But just now, didn't you say that the defendant, Matt on guard, was wearing his usual racing jacket?
I'm so sorry. Sorry that you judge people based on what they wear. If I wore the trendiest dress, then maybe you'd think I was the gorgeous whatever, but instead I have to look up to wearing this ridiculous outfit itself. It's hideous, right? I take per quarter to suck my chest. So heavy, I wish we would have searched the CDs ages ago, but the dream alive for those kids out there. Work hard, was file. Understand? Oh, take a look at your clothes are about as interesting on a documentary on Curly. You should take a tip for Edgy Poo. He's got style.
Now hold your tongue still there for just 1 second. So what you saw in actuality was not Mr. On Guard the man, and Mr. On Guard the nickel samurai?
But when you think about it, they're really one of the same anyway.
Miss Oldbag, this is a very important point we're talking about. Yeah, she goes so fast I can't even keep up with her.
Edgy Poo, do you think so too?
Well, it might be something worth considering. Just say it's important and agree with me for a change.
Witness, think carefully and try to remember as much as you can before you testify.
All right, if you insist.
I should be the one sighing, not you.
On guard, on guard. Yes, now I remember. The Nickel Samurai, that's right. It was the Nickel Samurai that I saw. Yes, it would have been convenient for him to wear this costume during the murder. He had to go to that post-ceremony stage show right after the crime, you know. So he must have worn that Nickel Samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan.
I knew it. I knew you'd say he was inside that costume!
What? Did you think there could have been someone else inside that costume? Don't be a bad little boy thinking such rude things.
But the possibility does exist, and we literally just had this happen last year!
Ah, young'uns today, I told you there's no way it was anyone else.
How do you know that?
Because I said so, and what I say is the truth.
I mean, she's just as delightful a witness as she was a year ago.
Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Yeah, she's exhausting.
On guard, on guard. Yes, now I remember. The Nickel Samurai. That's right, it was the Nickel Samurai I saw.
Be a little more careful with your testimony, please. Not too long ago, you said he was wearing his racing jacket, and now he's not?
Not too long ago. Then let me ask you this. When you were itty-bitty, what was your grand dream?
Huh?
What did you want to be when you grew up, whippersnapper?
My dream, huh? Well, I, wanted to be Judge Wagner, hero of the public court. So what?
See? And look at where you are now. You're not Judge Wagner, are you? Are you?
Well,
What I said earlier. Who puts any weight into things like that? The now is everything. I can't be held responsible for the past.
since when did court become theatrics over testimonies? Since a year ago, I guess.
All that matters is that man was inside that costume. Isn't that enough? That's an achievement for Judge Wagner.
Oh, that's gorgeous. I love it.
Yes, it would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder.
And why would that be?
That way, no one can see his face, of course.
But there's still no advantage for him that I can see. In fact, you would think that the costume would make him stand out even more.
You are such an annoying child, you know that? You disagree with everything I say.
Isn't that what you're always doing to me?
I got it. Maybe it was more troublesome for him to change in and out of his costume. He had to go to that post-ceremony stage show right after the crime, you know.
Was there anyone else scheduled to appear at the post-ceremony show?
Well, all the contestants were supposed to go on stage in a friendly gesture thing.
And that included the Jammin' Ninja?
Of course it included him. That's why when On Guard came out of dear Juan's room, I didn't give it a second thought.
I see.
Well, anyway. So he must have worn that nickel samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan.
So let me ask you one last time. The person you saw, it really was the Nickel Samurai?
As showy as ever. Haven't I been saying that from the very beginning?
Can I throw in the towel yet? You don't need to think too hard on this one. Huh? There's a contradiction in her testimony and sitting in plain sight. The question is what that contradiction means for us. Well, I have to figure out what you're talking about first, but okay. Alright, so we've got something... Nickel Samurai is supposed to confess something after the post-ceremony stage, so okay. Let's see here. No. Strangle with a scarf, stab with a knife. Bears, okay.
Nickel Samurai was the one you saw. Convenient. You had to go to the post-ceremony stage show right after the crime. Must have worn that Nickel Samurai costume when stabbing poor Juan. Why? Let me just present this, I guess. Nope, that's not it. This evidence clearly reveals the contradiction in that statement, Your Honor.
How exactly are the evidence and that statement just now related?
They aren't, are they?
Not at all. Mr. Wright, please think the facts over before making accusations.
I don't think that won me any points with the judge. Alright, let's try going back. Alright, present. Let's try this again here. Nickel Samurai. Nope, that's not it either. Okay, not related. Alright, save here. Alright, let's press this. Would you please get on with your testimony?
Watch your language, young man. What sort of tone is that to take with an elder? My youthfulness isn't what it used to be, so you should forgive me for everything. If you keep on barking at me like that, I'll start singing at the top of my lungs.
What?
A striking figure by the sea, standing all alone is he. He's the Nickel Samurai.
She's actually singing. Someone help my poor ears.
Mr. Edgeworth, can you please do something about this racket?
Witness, I'll give you a piece of gum later if you'll be good and just stick to the facts.
Okay. You promise, right?
Right. I'll be sending the bill for the chewing gum to your office at a later date. Remind me to send you a thank you note later, too, Edgeworth, old chum. Convenient to wear his costume during the murder. He had to go to the... Well, I mean... That doesn't seem to be very convenient, but we'll try that. Nope, that's not it either. Alright, moving on. What's the contradiction? Nope. That's not contradicting anything. Okay, let's, load from here. No. Nope. What is the contradiction here? I'm failing to see it. Okay. Strangle with a scarf, stab with a knife. Camera or the Nickel Samurai pick? I tried presenting the Nickel Samurai pick and nothing. The camera was just stolen on the night of the murder. I haven't figured out how that's relevant yet. Maybe I gotta present a profile? let's try this. Nope, that's not it. Unfortunately, I don't think presenting him is going to help, because that would require knowledge of the previous game, and I don't think they're going to make that a thing. Okay. Yeah, alright, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna look up what to present here. I hate doing this, but I just feel like this one's a bit too obtuse. Alright, let's see here. Okay. Oh my gosh, that's so stupid. Alright. So he must have worn the Nickel Samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan. And the contradiction is this knife, somehow. Objection! Please take a look at this.
Yeah, so it's a knife. Big deal. If you're trying to scare me with that, I'll have you know it won't work.
No, that's not my intention at all. Hello there, Reeve. How are you? Welcome in. Give me just a moment, because I've been remiss in doing this lately. Listen, if you see a stranger, follow him. Go check out Reeve's channel. He has been playing Golden Sun lately. He is a good friend of mine, so go follow him if you have the opportunity. If you're not already following him, I don't know why you aren't. So, all right, where were we? No, it's not my intention to scare you with this knife at all.
That's the knife that was used in the murder, correct?
Your Honor, do you know why this piece of evidence is important to this case?
You don't even have to ask. It's because the defendant's fingerprints are on it.
Is that what you're driving at? That is exactly what I'm driving at.
What are we driving at? And whose car are we driving?
If Mr. On Guard was really in the Nickel Samurai costume at the time of the murder, then it's impossible for his fingerprints to have been left on this knife. Actually, he would have wiped all of his previous fingerprints on this knife right off. Oh, my head. So, let me get this straight here. This knife that was stuck in the victim. The guy dressed up as the Nickel Samurai couldn't have used it because it would have it would have wiped off all the fingerprints. Okay. So if that's the case, then anyone wearing gloves at all would have wiped off the fingerprints. Which means the only person who could have done it is Matt on Guard. I hate this. This is just, It's bad enough that, it's not even a contradiction because, like, clearly he had been eating with said knife, so anyone could have picked it up before. It's not a contradiction. Anyway.
Oh, that's right. The Nickel Samurai wears gloves, doesn't he?
He probably took his gloves off before he began the stabbing. Why in God's name would you do that? And yeah, exactly, Phoenix. Why would he do something like that? To leave his prints on the murder weapon? There's no way he would do something like that. However, there is one possibility. Then let's hear your possibility. It's very simple. The defendant went to the victim's room while in costume as the Nickel Samurai. At that time, the defendant held no intent to murder. He was probably just going to relax and talk with the victim about the stage show, which is why he took his gloves off.
But the murder still did take place.
It's well known that there was bad blood between the defendant and the victim.
Yes, I have heard that before. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about Mr. Edgeworth's theory?
So let me get this straight. Edgeworth's theory goes like this. When the defendant went to the victim's room, he had no intention of killing him. Now, up to this point, are there any problems with this theory? Yes, there's a contradiction. This theory contradicts something in an earlier testimony. What are you babbling about? Now, for argument's sake, let's suppose Mr. On Guard was the killer. If that's the case, I think it's impossible for the killer to have gone to the victim's room without intent. Take that! This knife was used by Mr. On Guard at dinner.
Yes, we did establish that.
Which means that if my client wasn't in fact the killer, then he brought this knife with him when he went to visit Mr. Corda. I suppose. However, you just said it yourself. At that time, the defendant held no intent to murder. If that were true, then why would he bring a knife? He wouldn't, would he? Which means, Mr. Edgeworth, your theory was flawed from supposition 1. And one more thing. If the murderer was wearing the costume at the time of the murder, then there should be glove marks left on the knife. Which means the defendant's fingerprints shouldn't be all over it like bees on a hive. And that brings me to my final point. This knife was planted by the real killer to hide their identity and mislead us.
Order! Order, I say! Order in the court! Was this knife really planted by the killer? Why would the murderer do such a thing?
The knife was planted at the scene by the killer, who didn't get their fingerprints on it. Therefore, they must have been wearing gloves. And yet there's no glove marks on the knife. Why? Why do you do this to me, game? To frame Matt On Guard. It's to frame my client, Mr. On Guard, of course.
To frame?
Aren't you forcing the interpretation just a little too hard on this one? But we just established that the witness saw the Nickel Samurai in costume. And if that were true, then there shouldn't be a single fingerprint on this knife. This is their roundabout. Yep. Where's the to be continued music?
Witness?
Thank you, Reeve.
Looks like I made your life a tiny bit more difficult, huh, Edgy Poo?
Witness, did you or did you not really see the Nickel Samurai?
Well, I guess at first I might have forgotten, but...
Are you saying you mixed up Mr. On Guard with the Nickel Samurai, his character on TV?
But I mean, I can't really do anything about that now. Look, I was waiting around in front of the doors because, well, I wasn't waiting around for the Nickel Samurai, that's for sure.
She wasn't waiting for the Nickel Samurai. All right, then, who were you waiting around for, then?
That's top secret to anyone outside of security.
I have a feeling you were waiting for Mr. Juan Corda. Am I correct, witness?
Ha ha ha. The way you think, you are a sad amateur with a terrible case of nearsightedness.
Amateur? Me? What am I an amateur of?
So Oldbag was waiting around in front of the victim's room,
but it doesn't sound like she was waiting to catch a glimpse of Mr. Corrida. Maybe. Phoenix, maybe the old bag was waiting around for that person. And if it's who I think Mia's hinting at, it's certainly possible. Miss Oldbag, you were waiting around for this person to come out of the victim's room, weren't you? Where is she?
Who is this person?
This is Adrian Andrews, Mr. On Guard's manager.
But why would the defendant's manager be in the victim's room?
It seems that this is the latest rumor in circulation, Your Honor.
This is... Ah, I see.
The judge seems to be really into the article, if it can be called such a thing.
Then this manager with the initials AA, are you saying it's...
Adrian Andrews. Without a doubt, the witness thought so as well.
Looks like you found me out. Well, that's fine. I can throw away the whole sworn to confidentiality stuff then.
Witness? What in the world are you...
Watch out, Phoenix. I've got a bad feeling about this. A very bad feeling.
I got some information. Some very secret information from a certain source. So that's why I was doing my own little investigation. In secret, of course.
What for?
Oh, just for myself. Personal reasons and all that.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, how will you proceed from here?
I really don't want to do this. However, I cannot simply let this point slide.
I see. Very well, then. Witness, please testify about this secret information.
Get ready. This is going to take the wind out of you, young'uns.
I'm sure we're all capable of handling this. Really, it's not like we're 10 years old.
That on guard is one evil, evil man. He thought he could ruin poor Juan by causing a huge scandal. So to do that, he sent his own manager to get in close with Juan. I cannot condone such dirty tricks, so I took action. Oh, and this is top secret. You got that? Nobody else but you and me know yet, okay?
I get the feeling I need to press that statement.
The defendant said his manager. What a distasteful topic for this court.
What? Nobody's above gossip. And isn't there a saying, the truth is never pleasant?
Never heard that one before.
Mr. Edgeworth, what about this Adrian Andrews person?
We have looked into this matter, and I found that the truth the article proposes is in fact baseless gossip.
But should this be true, then this proves that the defendant did bear ill will towards the victim.
So this means I have to smash this rumor once and for all.
Now then, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Be careful, the old bag seems rather excited right now.
That's right! On guard is nothing but your average foul-blooded youth.
Well, as the old saying goes, you gotta burn old bags with fire. Time to fire up the afterburners and hit the highway to the danger zone.
Highway to the danger zone.
Alright.
On guard is one evil, evil man. He thought he could ruin poor Juan by causing a huge scandal. So to do that, he sent his own manager to get in close with Juan. I cannot condone such dirty tricks, so I took action. Oh, and this is top secret. You got that? Nobody else but you and me know yet, okay?
Wait!
What? I'm a busy woman. Tea time with the kids is over.
Secret information that no one else knows yet. If that's true, then how do you know this secret information?
Huh? Well, that's because I'm a pro. Yes, that's it. It's a secret. Even if you drill the hole into my brain, you'll never find out.
How in the world did that old bat get such a secret piece of information? So no one else is supposed to know the secret information, correct? If that's true, then why do you know it, Miss Oldbag?
But why are you looking at me like that? Stop that!
Witness! I hate to say it, but this is how you came to acquire your secret info, isn't it? Got it from that rag.
Take that! Objection!
You call that proof? It looks more like proofs of spite towards the witness. If you have nothing to back up your claims, they're no more valid than gossip.
Objection sustained. Witness, please feel free to ignore the defense's gesture of ill will and continue.
Okie dokie. See, nothing can get me down.
Great. That did nothing but set me back a few minutes of my life. Sounds like just another tidbit of gossip, doesn't it? But you can't just ignore it either. It makes your client look bad either way. Well, I don't think I heard anything really out of the ordinary just now. There has to be something we can catch her on. Yeah, when I find it, I'm gonna press the heck out of it. Alright, let's... Instead of... Alright, let's press this, but not present evidence this time. See what happens. Press further. If you don't be a good girl and tell me where you got this secret information, you won't get to go home today.
Edgy Poo, what are you doing? Help me!
What do I have to do with this?
Just do this for me. You'll get your reward.
I don't want your reward, but you don't leave me much of a choice. The witness could have gotten her information from anywhere. It's even possible it was spontaneously made up inside the witness's head. And he lectures me on reckless blabbering.
As long as we don't know where this information came from, it's quite a waste of time to focus on this line of questioning.
Where did Oldbag get her inside information? There has to be something I can use to figure it out. Figure out it out. Alright, Hey, Edfan, welcome back. And hey, Reeve and Nacho, she says. Alright, so where you're... Okay, so... The magazine clipping... Also, someone must have put some flour into the plot because it thickens. Clever. Okay, so... Alright, let's just press everything and see if we get anything. Now, On Guard is one evil man. You can't say something like that without proof. That's just slander.
But it's true. That woman was getting intimate with poor Juan. Look, it says so right here, doesn't it? Manager to the Stars, Miss A.A.?
But the name of the magazine this came from is Gossip Land.
What? Are you saying that gossip is all just a pack of lies? What do you know? I suppose next you'll swear to me that the news is 100% truth.
Well, she has a point.
Honestly, Sonny, you can't discriminate between the news and gossip.
Yes, discrimination is bad, Mr. Wright.
Discriminate? When did I do anything like that?
Anyway, On Guard will never get me to say touche.
Oh, good, that's still working.
He thought he could ruin poor Juan by causing a huge scandal.
Oh, back up. Scandal? What do you mean by that?
You're a dim-witted one, aren't you? I can't believe you know what a scandal is. Honestly, what are they teaching kids in middle school these days?
No, I wasn't asking what the word scandal means. Even I know that much.
Well, that On Guard thought he could own a monopoly on popularity. So to do that, he sent his own manager to get in close with Juan.
You don't have any proof that Mr. On Guard did any such thing.
You must be suffering from shock, the shock of hearing the truth. And now since you're in so much shock, you can't do anything right.
You're right, I can't do anything, but boy do I wish I could do something about you.
Alright then, Sonny, show me what you got. Can you show me proof that On Guard didn't bear any will towards Juan?
Decline the offer. I don't have anything to offer.
See? Just as I thought. And you were lecturing me about saying things without proof. You've just given me a free pass to say whatever I want, whenever I want, silly boy.
You and my big mouth.
That's the way for the cookie crumbles, for you anyway. I cannot condone such dirty tricks, so I took action.
So, what do you mean by I took action?
Like I already told you, I was lying in wait close to the crime scene. Once that slimy woman came out of Juan's room, I was going to capture her and teach her a good lesson, something you young'uns needed.
You're going to teach her a good lesson.
I was going to make her eat the damaging beams of my ray gun.
Yes, the ray gun shoots out beans.
Like this!
No, stop!
Well, it was too bad that woman didn't come through that door that night.
Okay. What in the heck? Okay, I'm looking this up here. Oh, for crying out loud. Alright, blah, 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 blah. Secret information. Where'd you get that secret information? I can prove that you got the secret... I mean, I can show you how you got such a secret piece of information. So, no one else is supposed to know the secret information, correct? That's true. Well, why do you know it, Miss Old Bag?
Why are you looking at me like that? Stop that!
Witness! I hate to say it, but this is how you came to acquire your secret info, isn't it? The investigative photographer, Lotta Hart.
Oh, yes, I remember that mischievous girl.
She reported that she had lost a certain note that she had written to herself.
She reported such a thing?
On that piece of paper, she had written down some of her outrageous impressions about the relationship between the victim and Miss Andrews. Okay, so I see. This is something that I needed to have not waited a week between playing the case, I guess. That's fair. I'd forgotten she'd mentioned that.
What? Outrageous ideas, you say?
No. I said impressions.
Then everything written on this piece of paper is completely meaningless.
Ah, that's it! That's the note! Alright, gotta get going. All Creatures Great and Small is gonna be on. Yeah, I'm gonna have to be wrapping up too fairly soon, because I'm starting to lose my voice here. But thank you for joining.
No, you see, this is something completely different. This is my top secret list of groceries to buy.
Then you were the one who took Miss Hart's note.
I'm a huge fan of Juan's, that's why. That infamous puffy-haired whippersnapper. She's working with that evil on guard. She said so herself. On guard, I'm his sidekick. She was so happy, smiling like a silly duck. I was only checking what she had written. Edgy Poo, you believe me, don't you? I was only trying to help out like the angel I am. It's only one little piece of paper. I'm never taking anything else before.
You really should come with a supply of cheese to match your vintage wine.
Well, it was only a piece of paper. I suppose we can overlook this just this once.
She looks like she's really sorry. Should I forgive her? No, pile on the pressure. If I let her up on her now, she'll get away. But I have to find some way to inflict a deafening blow to the prosecution. Witness, you said that the only thing you stole was that note. Is this correct?
Stole? Why don't you listen more carefully, you annoying brat? I saved this piece of paper from the terrible, lonely trash can, that's all.
You're lying, damn it, and I can prove it.
Are you putting my credibility under scrutiny again?
This old bag? I don't believe that the note is the only thing you stole that night. Take that! This old bag. That note was with a camera inside its case, wasn't it?
A camera?
Yesterday, Lotta Hart was raising a huge stink over her camera. She kept saying something like, "My sweetie, this $1,600 camera disappeared on me." Wait, just a second. Tablet. It wasn't a note that was in the case. It was a tabloid. The evidence says that the tabloid article about the victim was in the case, not the notes.
Why, witness!
What is it, Gramps?
If you have the note, then it's only logical that you have the camera, too.
Looks like you found me out again, Sonny. Is this the camera you're looking for?
That's...
What? Even though I look like this, I'm still a person, you know. I still eat meals like you, if I fall in love and borrow things from people.
I think your definition of borrow is a little off.
I saw that woman's business card, and that's when I noticed it said, Slimebag Celebrity Slimebag Celebrity Photographer Extraordinaire. Well, when I saw that, I had to know what sort of pictures she had taken. I'm a professional security guard. It's my business to know these things.
Bailiff, check this camera's photos. Hurry! You must examine them at once.
All right, I'm gonna call it here. I think that's a good intermission point. Yeah, let me see who else is online. Do we have anyone? All right, looks like Palicole is online. We'll give him a raid. All right. Oh, right. Wednesday is still up in the air, so I'm going to. No, wait. No. I'm sorry. I was mistaken. It's not this Wednesday that's up in the air. It's the Wednesday after that. So I actually will be streaming this Wednesday. Yeah, come back for more Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition at that time. But I want to thank you guys for joining me this evening. Hope to see you again in a few days here. This is Dr. Novelle signing out. You all have a good one. Let us begin the raid.